All right. Hi, YouTube. Hello. Let me get my screen shared here and we'll take a look at some news. You'll feel like total butt. Gross. My goodness. Okay. There we go. Come on, thing. Okay. There we are. Much better. Cool. What is this? Trillionaire? He's correcting her. She called him a billionaire. That's funny. Alright. I doubt I have anything tagged because I just haven't been. Oh yeah, okay. A couple things. Just two. Some weird incident at the Pentagon yesterday. Hazmat team was called in, and then all of a sudden, as soon as it happened, it was like, just kidding. It wasn't real. There wasn't anything actually going on.
Our nation's capital, the Arlington County Fire Department and EMS is monitoring a hazardous material situation at the Pentagon. And we learned this from their social post on X. Arlington Fire and EMS saying that their units, including our hazmat materials team, currently operating at the Pentagon in support of the PFPA's hazmat team during a hazardous materials incident. Now, we don't know what that incident is, but it's the Pentagon Force Protection Agency, that PFPA.
And then suddenly, as soon as the whole thing spun up, it was announced that actually nothing was the matter and it was all good. Which can happen. I mean, eh. I gotta pop out my chat here. There we go. And then, oh my goodness, this is crazy. It's actually, the incident itself happened like a year or two ago, but I think the video just came out. Insane.
On a scale from 1 to 10, my friend.
That is a cop drawing a gun and pointing it at another cop for ha-has.
You're fucked.
As if that wasn't bad enough, the one in the driver's seat does it back.
In lack of other words, I'd say you're fucked. You arrest a
and accidentally pulls the trigger.
say in Japanese, fucked from the head down
And yeah, it happens to be a lady cop.
to the knees. I am sorry to inform you, you are fundamentally fucked.
But people will forget as time goes by. What if I...
Apparently they still work for the organization. Disciplinary action was taken on both of them. I don't know if the lady cop still works there, but I think the guy that was injured still does. Crazy. Where do they find these fucking people? I don't know. Do you know? Okay. Back to the goods here. What on earth was that about Olive Garden and a satanic ritual? Woman rescued at Olive Garden after man forced her into satanic ritual and held her hostage? I'm gonna have to click that, I'm sorry. I need to know more. What was this ritual doing being conducted at Olive Garden? Are the breadsticks that good? Okay, New Hampshire. Woman said this guy was holding her hostage, that he'd forced her to marry him, and conducted a satanic ritual on her. Had cigarette burns on her legs. Officers then spoke with Daniel Ulay, age 47, who said that the woman was his wife and that they were out to dinner. Asked why the woman was crying, Ulay said her mother was attempting to force her to join a religious cult back in Pennsylvania, and she was fed up with dealing with it. I'd like to see pictures of these people. Can we see?
According to court documents, Saturday morning, police in Newington were dispatched to Olive Garden for a woman being held against her will. That report coming from Pennsylvania State Police, who say they got a call from the victim's mother after she tracked her phone to the parking lot. When police arrived, officers saw cigarette burns on her leg. Officers say they found a satanic Bible, sweatshirt, and bag in Daniel Ulet's car. The victim later telling officers that he allegedly had a gun and forced her to marry him against her will a few days earlier. In those documents, she told investigators that Ulet would not let her use her phone and told her that he would hurt her family if she left. Court paperwork says on Friday he made her drive them around with a gun pointed at her, saying a religious cult was following them. Saturday morning, while in Kittery, documents say that he grabbed her wrist and sliced her hand for a satanic ritual before police intervened later that morning in Newington.
Talk to anybody that knows me. I'm not a physical man, and I'm truly not married Christine, and force her into marriage. That's was completely against my religious beliefs. I totally believe in free will, and I've never been aggressive with her in any ways that were described on that paper.
Huh?
Now in court this morning,
he believes in free will.
Prosecutors did say that Ulet has a rap sheet, including past domestic violence and DWI charges. We have learned that the victim in this case is okay and did receive that protective order against Ulet. He is currently being held on preventative detention.
Creepy. Oh, that's a fun one to start out with. Belfast.
This violent behaviour by a thuggish minority will not be tolerated.
Did he really just call them a minority? A thuggish minority? That's right. It's these people that are the thugs and the minorities.
My message, my clear message to those who've taken part in violence or are thinking of taking to our streets, the stakes for you are high. We'll bring you to justice, and I know the judiciary in Northern Ireland stands ready to give long sentences to those bringing disorder to our streets. This violent behaviour by
who is a just now, Pamela Nash, who is a parliamentary private secretary, essentially an unpaid bag carrier for the Defence Minister team in the MOD. She has resigned. She resigned.
Oh, over what?
Saying that she said the delays and difficulties with securing the necessary funding to progress the defence investment plan has been the latest issue that's damaging the trust of the public in us. We saw this laid bare, she says, in last month's election results. Our government successes are consistently drowned out by mistakes and their failure to be bold when it matters most. To you then, Lord Cryer, Pamela Nash resigning is not a surprise, probably because she's quite close maybe to John Healey and supported him. But she's saying there that the trust is being damaged by this government in not dealing properly with defence.
Yeah, I mean, Pamela's the PPS is, for the views, it's the lowest ministerial rung. As you say, it's like a sort of bag carry for a Secretary of State. Nevertheless, it's significant because PPSs have quite a significant role in coordinating the departments. I don't suppose it's a surprise that she's gone, but you wonder who else might go. But she's absolutely right in saying that this government has had successes. I mentioned the new legislation on the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, which I regard as crucial and should have been done years ago. But those successes and others are being drowned out by this, a failure to address defence, which successive governments have done.
By mistake, Alice Heath, to remind our viewers and listeners of what Pamela Nash has just said in this letter, the defence of our nation is the most important responsibility of any government. We all agree with that. Yeah. But the delays and difficulties with securing the necessary funding to progress the defence investment plan has been the latest issue that's damaging trust of the public in us. And trust is so important. The PM talks about defence. It's really important, but he's not put the money where his mouth is.
Yes. And I think that's an absolutely correct analysis. And I think this whole situation is unravelling because it is clear that the government or Keir Starmer is not serious about funding our defences sufficiently. We no longer live in the end of history. The peace dividend is gone, right? Yeah. We're not in a peaceful situation. There's a war with Russia and Ukraine. There's Iran. Yes, it's great what Labour's doing on the IRGC. It's not enough. We need to spend more on defence, and we need to spend better on defence.
Oh, Trump taking questions yesterday. I missed this one.
Armed Forces Minister Al Carnes has resigned, and he issued an absolutely scathing letter to the Prime Minister, not holding back at all here. Part of it is a serving minister cannot ask fellow veterans to trust a process he no longer trusts himself. Al Carnes, by the way, in case you didn't know, someone who's served this country with absolute distinction. He was, of course, a Military Cross recipient, a full member of our Special Forces, and...
Wow. Not looking good for Starmer. Tard. All right.
I am one myself, as you know.
What is this? Sig Hansen? Guess he was on The Apprentice or something? Not sure.
I just want to say, Mr. President, that, my father always said, always give credit where credit is due. And I'm here representing the working man, the fisherman. I am one myself, as you know. And, I spent a couple of months with you on The Apprentice, and I saw your work ethic there. And I got to tell you, I understand that I can't fathom how you can do all this and how you can get the time to do what you do and representing us and helping the fishermen the way you have done. It's mind-boggling to me because I know you got your hands full, but putting us on that pedestal and backing up our industry the way you have, it's just phenomenal. And I gotta say, I've been fishing since I was 12 years old. I've never been fired in my life until I spent a couple of months with this man. And it was very humbling, to say the least.
You did a great job.
And I tell you what, when I think about it, I was a better captain after that because I was very nice to my crew. I was very humbled when I was fired. And anyway, I just want to say, as for you, this is a crew member's cap. You can take that. And you're one of us now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's fun.
Confident are you that there will be a signing this weekend, because you have come close to sealing a deal, but at the last minute it has fallen apart? And
it'll be soon. Maybe this weekend.
And has the Supreme Leader approved this deal, sir?
I understand the answer is yes.
And when this deal is signed, is the United States going to immediately lift the blockade?
Yes, that's true. That's part of the deal.
And
you'll have oil prices dropping like a rock.
And sir, have you actually secured?
Yeah, you watch when that happens. It's going to be something.
Agreement on the discussions about the nuclear material and the nuclear negotiations.
Yes, conceptually on that, and nobody's getting close to it because it's buried under a mountain, basically. There's B-2 bombers.
But has Iran committed to not pursuing a nuclear weapon, or will there be more negotiations on that down the line?
They will not have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that. There will be no, which is the whole reason, which is a big part of the reason.
Is that going to be in your agreement, sir?
They will not only not have, they will not purchase, develop in any way, any shape, in any way, shape, or form a nuclear weapon. They will not have a nuclear weapon.
Convinced that this time is different.
More questions on Iran.
Because they've taken a pounding. They've taken a pounding like very few people could take. And they want to make the deal a lot more than I do. And we could have had it done the other way, I guess, but it would have taken longer. They got hit very hard recently, as you know. And I don't like to have to do things that way, but I felt it was necessary. It's a great deal for the United States and for the Middle East, and I think ultimately great for Iran because they'll be able to build up their country and their country. I really believe it's a regime change because I find these people to be much more rational than the people that are no longer with us. We knocked out the first team of leadership, the second team of leadership. There's a different group. There's a different level, and I think it's frankly a smarter level, and it's a level that has reason. And they've all approved the deal. Everybody's approved the deal. Now we'll get it finished up, and hopefully that'll be done. We will not have Iran having a nuclear weapon, which is very important to these people behind me. We can talk about fishing. There won't be anybody to fish. The fish will still be around, I guess. They're probably going to be affected, too. We're not going to let it happen. So Iran will essentially, most important paragraph to me, Iran will in no way, shape, or form have a nuclear weapon or purchase a nuclear weapon.
You bring in these everyday Americans into the White House and listening to them. Yeah. How important is it for you to listen to everyday Americans when it comes to policy making on a
These people built the country, not the complainers. The complainers didn't build the country. These people built the country. Whether it's fishermen or farmers or anything else. Me, guys like me, they built the country. And, I watch all these ingrates. They're always complaining. They didn't build anything. They couldn't build anything. Look at what's happened in Minnesota, Somalia. All these people came in from Somalia. They ripped off our system. You have the woman who married her brother. She came in and married her brother. Isn't that wonderful? And then she talks about the Constitution of the United States. She comes from Somalia. They don't have constitutions in Somalia. They don't have police. They don't have all they have is people that run around shooting each other. And then she comes and tells us how to run our country. I don't like it. These people don't like it. I can tell you. I think I can speak for you. Yeah. She comes in, Ilhan Omar. She comes in. She tells us how to run the United States of America. And she comes from a place without anything, probably among the worst countries in the world. And she says, the Constitution of the United States protects me. She shouldn't be protected. She honestly, she should be thrown out of the country. She's corrupt. And most of the people that came in are corrupt, and the whole voting system is corrupt in Minnesota. I won Minnesota 3 times, easily. I won almost every county, but they didn't give it to me. It's a corrupt system, very corrupt state. The governor is terrible. The attorney general is terrible. They're all very corrupt people. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
The 2 leading candidates.
Crazy socialist running for mayor of DC. Oh God, who is it?
Here in Washington, D.C., there's a Democratic primary for mayor. One of the 2 leading candidates, Janice Lewis-George,
oh gosh,
is running a Zoran Mandami campaign. It's focused on socialist policies. How would you feel if she emerges victorious in next Tuesday's?
Well, I wouldn't like it, and maybe we'd take back Washington, run it on the federal basis. We won't put up with it. We're not going to lose our businesses.
Here in Washington.
Ooh. Yeah, Pamela Nash resigned as PPS in Ministry of Defense, as we just heard in there. UK government in meltdown. Al Cairns resigns. John Healy gone. Al Karen's gone. Pamela Nash gone. Welcome to the New York rental market, where the median asking rent hit $3,616 in the first quarter of this year.
Curfew, 11:30. Would you pay $860 a month to live in New York City in a convent? I'm at Central Maria in the Bronx, where a single room like this goes for around $200 a week. But there's some old school
not bad
rules. Residents must follow strict curfew, 11:30 p.m. on weeknights and midnight on weekends. There's no alcohol allowed in the rooms, and there's no boys above the first floor. Each morning, the 5 nuns cook breakfast for residents. They clean the building.
Dude, seriously? That's a killer deal.
And host parties so that folks can get to know each other. One of the sisters is more than 90 years old.
Are you kidding? I would live with the nuns in a second.
Houses like these were
If I
founded
were in such a position.
to shelter young people, mostly women, who are arriving alone to work in New York City at a time when few other options existed. Many have closed over the years due to rising maintenance costs, pandemic-era disruptions, and shrinking religious orders. Those that do remain have months-long wait lists. The girls said the sisters provide them with a great support network, and the sisters said the girls keep them young. Plus,
Aww.
like mom, they get to be the first to vet your new boyfriend. Would you pay $860 a month to live in New York City?
Jeez, man. President's scheduled today. What? President participates in a pre-tape podcast with the second lady. He's going on her... She has a podcast? Lucia Vance? I don't know. I don't know these things. Doing another pre-tape interview later on. I don't know if that's more of the same one or who knows? Maybe a different one. It's a day of pre-tapes. Trump says a U.S.-Iran settlement could soon end the war and reopen the strait.
All right, so it's been a busy week when it comes to Iran and what our response is going to be with Iran. So let's just go through it. On Monday, the United States military helicopter was downed in the Strait of Hormuz.
Yep, it do be like that. That did happen.
That's where the president talks about that they sent that drone in there to go capture our pilots after Iran attacked them. And then on Tuesday, the president announced that there was going to be strikes on them, and we really lit them up. On Wednesday, Iran starts to attack United States bases as well as the Gulf states as well. And then on Thursday, Trump announced that there may be additional strikes, and then he pauses those strikes the same day. And then, of course, the president saying today or this weekend, they hope that there's going to be an agreement that is reached. They call that an MOU. And then they hope that there's going to be a signing in Europe over the weekend, but there's a lot at play here.
Okay.
Odds are long that we get all the way to the signing without someone in the IRGC in Tehran trying to scupper the entire thing. We've seen this play out time and time again since the ceasefire began in April 8th. But as more and more of the details come out, it's clear that no money and certainly no concession from the U.S. side can be given until real results are shown on the Iranian side. The odds are long that we get all the way to the signing without someone in the IRGC in Tehran trying to scupper the entire thing. We've seen this play out time and time again since the ceasefire began in April 8th. But as more and more of the details come out, it's clear that no money and certainly no concession from the U.S. side can be given until real results are shown on the Iranian side. The odds are long that we get all the way to the signing.
SpaceX makes its stock market debut at a record 135 per share.
So shares of SpaceX start trading today on the NASDAQ for the first time in what is expected to be the largest public offering of stock ever. The IPO is expected to be priced at $135 per share and aims to raise $75 billion, valuing the company at $1.77 trillion. So if all goes according to plan, CEO Elon Musk could become the world's first trillionaire.
Almost 10 years that people have been suggesting to me that I should take SpaceX public. We are going to put in orbit probably 100,000 satellites, or probably over 100,000 satellites, just for communications. We're embarking on a massive new growth phase, and we need capital for that.
And in addition, thousands of lives are expected to be changed in a matter of hours, with some 4,000 SpaceX employees, many of whom have been with the company all 24 years, will now become millionaires.
Very life-changing. You know, Elon always said that your salary is one thing, but it's the equity that's going to be worth something. And we are all like, yeah, okay, someday. That day is here. It's great.
And now, as one of the most valuable companies on Earth, SpaceX has three main businesses: the reusable rocket business, Starlink, satellites, and AI. Musk will retain the majority of the voting power in the company, but SpaceX is allocating an unprecedented 30% of IPO shares for regular investors on platforms like Fidelity, Robinhood, E-Trade.
Oh yeah, I heard about this one. Authorities investigating large-scale 8647 vandalism on the National Mall. Disgusting.
The Interior is calling this an act of deranged vandalism, with authorities not only trying to figure out who did this, but also what caused the discoloration in the grass. The U.S. Park Service say that markings reading 8647 were discovered around 11:30 yesterday afternoon.
Wow.
On the west side of the Washington Monument. The anti-Trump sequence has emerged just as the National Mall is preparing for an influx. Thousands of visitors preparing to come this way for Sunday's UFC match and President Trump's birthday. Also, all the recent beautification efforts that have taken place around that direct area. 47 being a reference to President Trump, and 86, that is often noted as slang for gay.
You can just barely see it there. 8, 6, 4, 7.
Getting rid of something. The question is, by what means? The numbers were made notable by former FBI Director James Comey, who's currently facing federal charges for a May Instagram post of seashells laying out those numbers. That was last May. He maintains that this was not a call to violence. Now, the White House differs on that, and their response to this most recent vandalism on the mall, they write this: anyone who engages in or endorses political violence or assassination culture must be condemned in the harshest terms possible. So these markings do appear to have been maybe burned in some way. It's very large on the that section of the National Mall. But again, investigators are looking into that. They're actually taking grass samples to find out what exactly caused that discoloration.
Weird. Tulsi rescinds, interesting. What about them? Rescinds Biden-era Havana syndrome findings? Rescinds ethically flawed? How? I wonder. Ah. That's interesting. Weird. Retracted ICA selectively excluded evidence and intelligence. Mischaracterized sources to suppress alternative analyses. Omitted key information related to source quality and relied on an ethically flawed medical study. What the heck? I think they were trying to cover up the real explanation for it or something. Fudging the reports. How strange. Bet Catherine Herridge will have something more on this at some point. Weird. Proposed Iran-US deal would reopen Hormuz Strait and lift oil sanctions. There's something to read on that? Yes. Okay. The 14-point document reportedly includes a commitment from Iran to reopen Strait within 30 days. Deal could be signed as soon as Sunday in Switzerland, ahead of the G7 summit starting Monday. Would certainly like to see oil prices dropping through the floor. Por favor. What is this? Do I even want to know? Got a funny hat. Let's see.
We need to understand the real reason why USAID is in Africa. And not just USAID, but other NGOs. You look at DFID, which is the British equivalent, and many other
I'll forgive the funny hat.
Smaller ones. Their sole purpose was to act as if they're coming to rescue Africa. They are coming in claiming that they're introducing grassroots initiatives that are going to help the people. And so they use that as a way to go into the most remote parts of Africa. When you look at it on paper, it all looks really good. But they're actually wolf in sheep's clothing. They are using that open access sounding humanitarian to constantly destabilize governments. I can tell you right now, the majority of African leaders, and not just African leaders, but leaders in the developing world, are celebrating the exit of USAID. If you think about it, their sole purpose, for example, filling in the gaps in healthcare and education, where is the change? Show me one country that USAID was in and education improved. Show me what country where USAID was in and healthcare improved. The social services they're bringing, it's peanuts. The American taxpayer needs to know the billions of dollars that are being given to USAID, a fraction is making it to the people.
This isn't just some random woman saying this. This is the African Union ambassador to the U.S. This is somebody who knows what's going on, who's been there and been on the ground. Now, she's saying that the USAID money was used for destabilizing governments. This is something we see over and over again. All the money that was supposed to be used for these programs was actually used for political meddling. This is something that happens in the United States all the time. One of the other things that she says here, right here, funds are allegedly diverted with little accountability. USAID was nothing but a giant money laundering operation. And check this out, reports of funds not reaching ground level, meaning all the money that's sent over there never goes to where it's supposed to go.
Excuse me. Oh boy. Iran publishes a 14-point draft peace memo with the U.S. Iranian state agency MER has released the full text of a proposed 14-point framework agreement between Iran and the U.S. Full and immediate cessation of the war on all fronts, including Lebanon. Commitment by the U.S. to the principle of non-interference in Iran's internal affairs and respect for the country's sovereignty. Complete lifting of the naval blockade within 30 days. Resumption of operations in the Strait of Hormuz within 30 days, taking into account agreements with Iran. Commitment to the U.S. to withdraw troops from territories bordering Iran. Suspension of sanctions on the sale of oil, petrochemical products and derivatives, as well as full access for Iran to its financial resources. The U.S. and its allies must present a plan to restore Iran worth at least $300 billion. Within 60 days, negotiations must be held to reach a final agreement on nuclear issues, and the complete lifting of all sanctions, as well as UN Security Council and IAEA Board of Governors resolutions. Confirmation of Iran's commitment to nuclear non-proliferation treaty. Commitment by the U.S. not to increase the number of troops in the region. Unfreezing of $24 billion in Iranian assets within the 60-day period of final negotiations, with half the amount to be provided to Iran before they begin. Creation of a monitoring mechanism, excuse me, to implement the agreement. Approval of the final agreement by a UN Security Council resolution. And finally, final negotiations will not begin until half of the Iranian assets are unfrozen. Oil sanctions are suspended, and the naval blockade is lifted. I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but this kind of seems like a shit deal for us. Seems to be making quite a few concessions to them. Quite a few. Of course, that's the one that Iran themselves published, so yeah. This is the text as released by Iranian state agency MER. So, I mean, who knows what the actual details of the actual agreement actually are.
Here, meaning that key national security. To you, lawmakers have left town here, meaning that key national security tool, a section of FISA used for warrantless foreign surveillance, is all but certain to expire by tonight's midnight deadline at this critical moment for the United States, at war with Iran and with major events this summer like the World Cup and America's 250th. President Trump unable to turn things around yesterday despite tapping Jay Clayton, the U.S. attorney for the powerful Southern District of New York, as the next director of national intelligence, replacing Tulsi Gabbard. But Democrats and even some Republicans furious about the man Trump tapped to serve in that role temporarily while Clayton is confirmed, Bill Pulte, who has no intelligence experience and has used his perch at the Federal Housing Finance Agency to push for mortgage fraud investigations into the president's political opponents. Democrats saying they will not vote to reauthorize that section of FISA with Pulte in power, even temporarily. The top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner, telling me that Bill Pulte is, in his view, a, quote, national security threat. Despite all that, President Trump standing by Pulte, but Senate Republicans moving quickly to get Pulte out and Jay Clayton in there quickly, putting Jay Clayton's confirmation hearing now on the schedule for next Wednesday. Rebecca.
All
right. To you, lawmakers.
This could get interesting. Mike Lee says Senate Republicans should immediately force the SAVE Act on the floor. This is still going on, for the love of God.
Mr. President, our elections need to be characterized by two things. We need to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. And we need to do that by making sure that people establish their citizenship and therefore their eligibility to vote when they register, and that they show who they are when they show up on election day. This isn't hard. This isn't unusual. Every country in the entire world, countries you're familiar with, countries you're not, countries as wide-ranging as Mexico, Brazil, India, Argentina, Peru, Botswana, Burundi, they all have voter ID requirements. We do not. We do not want to leave this amount of power sitting on the table so that foreign powers can send forth people who are not eligible to vote in this country and vote anyway. We need to do this. The House of Representatives has passed the Save America Act. We now have the opportunity to vote on that same bill, the Save America Act here. This bill, Mr. President, will disenfranchise no one. It will make us all more free. It will protect the sanctity, the dignity of your vote. When we allow people who are not allowed to vote, we rob Americans of their vote. Let's make it easy to vote, hard to cheat. Let's pass this bill.
In a second, we're going to pipe him down. There we go. All right. Here is President Trump's response to that the deal released by Iran, leaked out to the fake news. The terms that Iran leaked out as fake news have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. Amazing. Also, their totally rebuffed drone attack last night against Indian ships leaving the Hormuz Strait is totally unacceptable. They better get their act together and fast. Bizarre. Trump posted voter fraud charges are coming in California. Okay. I don't know if I'm like supposed to hear something here, but yeah, I don't hear anything. Okay, well, he says U.S. attorney in California suspects voter fraud investigation will result in charges. Post an article. All right. Oh, pardon me. Need caffeine. Oh boy, the fight outside the White House just got bigger. How's that? Wow, most of the 4,300 attendees will be U.S. military.
Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
Oh, this is like 20 minutes long, but still. Okay, Britain's Minister for Northern Ireland. Pardon me. Minister for Northern Ireland is preparing a major crackdown on social media companies to force removal of all content they say is illegal. You know, all that anti-immigrant talk.
Fear that has spread among social media companies have a very heavy responsibility. This is why we're going to bring forward new powers next week to make it clear that social media companies need to take down illegal content, particularly when we are facing circumstances such as the ones we've seen in Northern Ireland over the last 2 days. And I just want to convey to you the sense of fear that has spread amongst ethnic minority people in Northern Ireland because they saw the scenes that you and others reported on their screens. And they've also heard about, for example, people being stopped in their cars on the way to work to be asked what their nationality is.
Let's just take a look here at what's going to be pressured to be removed from social media. It's going to be religious hatred, so this is going to protect Islam. Inciting or provoking violence and disorder, so anything that's going to be against minorities, immigrants, or foreigners, so protecting everyone who shouldn't be there. Threats and intimidation, so basically saying anything negative against immigrants. Let's see. Inciting harm, false communications causing harm. So knowingly spreading disinformation can now get you in trouble.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Weeks is a moment. But losing 7 ministers in 4 weeks is a moment of great peril. I'm in Downing Street right now. The PM is in the building behind me. We have seen Dan Jarvis leave. He, of course, is the new Defence Secretary. But frankly, what is the PM for in power if it's not to keep us safe? Now, he makes a lot of play about being on the world stage, the threat from Russia directly, the threat indirectly from China. He makes these points almost to justify spending money, but he hasn't
back those words up with money. George Robertson's report came out well over a year ago, the former head of NATO and a former Labour defence secretary. He was frustrated. He said earlier this year to the Financial Times, is it welfare or warfare? Which matters more to the ruling party, the Labour government? Al Carnes, he resigned late last night following, of course, John Healey, who went yesterday. And John Healey's words were striking. He made clear that the PM couldn't find the money, and in fact the money was not going to come from the Treasury. You might wonder politically why on earth the Prime Minister didn't side with his Defence Secretary against the Chancellor, because of course that would put him on the side of his rhetoric, of his language about defence. But earlier today I spoke to Al Carnes here in Westminster and asked him what he thought had gone wrong with this government's priorities.
Clear that we need more into defence. I've been clear that the defence investment plan needs to be more transformative. But we've got to be really careful of making sure that the nation can get a good day's work, can get paid for a good day's work, that they can have a secure NHS, they have good schooling, good public services. And a lot of that is not about cutting the things that affect your lives and everybody else's lives on a day-to-day basis. So we've got to get the balance right. But the first principle, unifying role of any government, is to protect the nation. And we need to do that properly.
Now, we are expecting, we could be hearing from the Prime Minister at some point today. We'll bring that, any words he says, to you as soon as we get it. But that was Al Carnes there, not saying that he wouldn't be standing to be leader if a vacancy occurs. Of course, the Prime Minister has made very clear he wants to fight to stay on as the leader. And in fact, his name goes forward to members if there is a leadership battle. So we are approaching what I think will be a critical point this time next week in the wake of the various by-elections happening around the country. Will there be a candidate stepping forward to take on Sir Keir Starmer? Get ready. It's going to be quite a bumpy ride.
Chris, in his very hard-hitting resignation letter, Al Carnes gave two reasons, really, for his resignation. One about the defence investment plan, but also...
Getting screwy over there, man. Trump admin preparing a deportation flight that includes sending Iranian asylum seekers and other migrants to Africa. I like it there. I'm sure it'll be very nice. Spamberger defends wave of vetoes as frustrated Democrats push back. What's going on? I missed all this. Okay, governor's vetoes and centrist approach have exposed tensions inside her own party. What does she do? Some Democratic lawmakers and progressive allies say the former congresswoman is governing less like a leader of a blue state trifecta and more like the cautious centrist Virginians elected to Congress 8 years ago. She's disgusting. You can't call her a centrist. Don't try. She has vetoed 31 bills passed by the Democrat-controlled General Assembly, an unusually high number during one-party control of government. That is interesting. Such as legislation expanding collective bargaining rights for public employees and a long-awaited legal framework for cannabis sales. Oh, great. Personally, I kind of like my state not stinking like marijuana everywhere. I'm not like even particularly against it itself. I just, everywhere this has happened, it just ends up with like every freaking corner stinking like weed. And that's just, nah, no thanks. Not for me. Multiple tornadoes and strong thunderstorms barreled through Illinois on Thursday.
And damaging. More than 90 million Americans are under threat as a severe weather outbreak sweeps the country. Multiple tornadoes touched down in Illinois, leaving hundreds of thousands without power and damaging homes and businesses. The storms also snarled air travel, with more than 1,500 flights cancelled nationwide and
God, I hate being sick.
Thousands more delayed. A tornado caused severe damage in Streator, Illinois, where a man was trapped under the wreckage.
Hold on, wait, don't move.
A photographer jumped in to help before he was lifted out by first responders. Forecasters warn dangerous heat and humidity will continue fueling severe storms across much of the country.
Honda recalling more than 800,000 vehicles because rear suspension components may fail and cause drivers to lose control and possibly die. Yeah. Honda Pilot. My mom drives one of those. 2017 to 2023 Ridgeline, 2019 to 23 Passport, or maybe that's the one she has. I forget. Sounds dangerous. Okay, we saw Olive Garden's satanic ritual. Yeah. From SpaceX gearing up to fly high with its IPO to U.S. consumer prices jumping at their fastest pace in 3 years. Here's a roundup of the big financial stories of the week.
From SpaceX gearing up to soar onto the stock market to US consumers feeling the pinch, this is the week in numbers. $135 per share is how high SpaceX officially priced its Friday stock market listing. The IPO has raised a record $75 billion for the rockets and AI firm and sees it valued at $1.77 trillion. But Morningstar analyst Nicholas Owens thinks the $135 price looks high.
We value it at $63 a share, which is the blended average of a range of scenarios that can be as high as $154 if you believe everything will go right and data centers in space are highly competitive, or as low as $40 a share if you really are just getting the rockets and Starlink and the AI doesn't work out, so to speak.
4.2% is how high US consumer inflation jumped in May from a year earlier. That was its fastest rate in 3 years and marked the third straight month of sharp increases in prices. It showed growing pressure on households as evidence suggests more consumers are dipping into savings to finance spending. Inflation also outpaced wage growth for a second month in a row. Around 9% is how much Oracle shares plunged following the company's results. Investors sold off after the tech firm said its spending on AI would blow past estimates. Oracle also said it would have to raise more debt next year, showing the huge sums being put into AI infrastructure. The firm said capital expenditures hit close to $56 billion, well above its target, and could balloon to as much as $95 billion in 2027.
Wow.
More than 3 million was how many chips Alphabet's Google ordered from Intel for 2028. That's what the information reported. Intel shares jumped as much as 12% after the news came out. It adds to a near 169% gain so far this year as CEO Lip-Bu Tan pursues his turnaround plan for the US company.
I don't know about that, man. Pulling a rabbit out of that hat is Intel's in a bad place, man. Like, not good.
E-commerce giant Coupang was fined by South Korean regulators. It was over a massive leak of customer information. Authorities in Seoul said Coupang had leaked personal data of more than 33 million customers.
Oh, how nice.
They blamed it on a lack of safety measures and systems rather than sophisticated hacking. Coupang apologized for having caused concern to the public and its customers.
Gwynne Shotwell, anticipating who? I don't know. COO of SpaceX. anticipating SpaceX's 13th Starship flight could happen sometime in July, with monthly flights thereafter, with Flight 14 hopefully being their first attempt at full orbit.
We have done an in-space Raptor lighting, so we feel pretty comfortable, but we want another suborbital shot on the next flight, and then I hope we at least attempt an orbital injection on Flight 14, and then from there on out.
Okay. What do you think is a reasonable timeline? I realize a lot has to happen.
A lot has to happen. I think we're, so what is it, beginning of June? Maybe a month-ish away from Flight 13.
Okay.
And then we should fly every month.
So we could actually see a Starship that is in operation by the end of this year.
Oh, in orbit?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We have done an in-space.
Interesting. Okay. China says they're holding a U.S. citizen suspected of spying. Identifying the man as a political analyst at a policy think tank focusing on their neighboring country of Myanmar. Min Zin, a founder of the Institute for Strategic Policy for Strategy and Policy Myanmar, ISPM, has been subjected to criminal compulsory measures on suspicion of engaging in espionage activities that endanger China's national security. Yikes. U.S. consulate had been notified of the case. Neither the U.S. State Department nor the ISPM have responded to a request for comment. ISPM is based in the northern Thai city of Chiang Mai, a hub for political exiles from Myanmar since the coup ousted. Honestly, he kind of sounds like the type of person that would be a spy, so I'm not exactly going to write that off. Yeah, yikes. Philadelphia's police department arbitrarily blocks or revokes law-abiding citizens' concealed carry permits. Excuse me?
Has been pretty concerned with Philadelphia's police department. There's an investigation, Harmeet, because they are using what's called, they say, a good cause standard to
what a joke.
Cancel or revoke firearm permits. I mean, it doesn't seem like this under, the Second Amendment is legal. So why are they doing it?
It's not legal. No, it's not legal. And the United States Supreme Court really settled this 3 years ago in the case called Bruin. And so all over the country, police departments were doing this, and they were sort of requiring you to show a good reason to be able to have concealed carry. What Philadelphia is doing is actually something that the ACLU is even sued over. They discriminate against people and don't even allow open carry in the city, and so they've been told by a higher court that they have to stop that discrimination against people. But the police department has been using the fact that some people open carry and are engaged in other lawful behavior to revoke the existing CCW permits of individuals, law-abiding citizens. And so, this is discriminatory and it's illegal, and so we don't want to see that. Now, obviously, people do have to be law-abiding, and people have to use their firearms responsibly, but what we're concerned about is the revocation or refusal to grant rights to law-abiding gun owners. And this is something we're challenging in many jurisdictions all over the country.
What on earth are we looking at here? Oh, God.
This is what this space is meant for. It's
seriously
meant for community. It's meant to be shared in moments like this. So it's not about like being on a physical stage like in a theater. I think what makes performing here so great is the fact that, like, again, this is the people's house.
What on earth is going on here?
is the fact that, like, again, this is the people's house.
This is City Hall? Where is it? No, this is Minneapolis? Good Lord. God help us. Juvenile thugs rob 11 and 12-year-old lemonade stand at gunpoint in Boston.
It really is. So these two suspects, they can be seen on video stalking the lemonade stand before flashing
There's a business lesson for you.
a gun
Young entrepreneurs.
on a 12-year-old David
Stay strapped.
and his 11-year-old little sister. Here they are. One of the masked suspects is wearing all black with a white mask. The other is carrying a backpack. Police say the two are also juveniles, and they fled with a box of about $50 in cash. The 12-year-old David telling local CBS Boston, quote, "He walked over here and said, I might need to take the box. My sister, she put her hands up and I said, you can have it. But after that, I was a little annoyed because we were 12 and 11 and you shouldn't really be doing that." And the kid's mother also telling NBC Boston this, quote, "My daughter called me. I'm at work. She was in hysterics, crying, saying somebody put a gun to us and took all of our money."
Wow.
They noticed two kids with masks over their face across the street, and they kept coming back and forth. So far, no arrests have been made, and police are asking for tips on tracking down those two suspects. And thankfully, though, those young lemonade stand owners were unhurt, but they're not letting this scary incident slow them down. Just a day later, they're back on that corner selling lemonade. The community now rallying around them. In fact, they're going to put half of the proceeds of their sale later today
into purchasing a firearm.
It will be donated to a local gun violence prevention group. So,
oh, well, one can dream. Man pulled from rubble after, oh yeah, this guy. After the tornado.
Oh my God.
I got her out.
Okay.
But I can't get out.
Oh my God.
I tried moving all this stuff. I can't get it out.
All right, hold on. Let me help. Hold on.
Do you want me to hold your camera?
No, it's more important here. Oh God.
I think it's
this piece here.
This one here.
There's a close one.
This, I might be able to.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there it is. Trump participating in a pre-taped podcast with Usha Vance today at 11 a.m. So in an hour or so. Creepy robot. Oh my gosh, they're begging for money. Well, that's a gimmick, I guess. I mean, maybe it does work. Oh my gosh, people are actually, wow. Tim Wahlberg sounds the alarm. Who? Huh? Let's hear it. I don't know.
This morning, Pete Buttigieg yesterday.
Pete Buttigieg.
The former transportation secretary, ran for president previously, mayor of South Bend, likely going to run in 2028. He did a Rainbow Push event in Chicago, and I won't play the cuts here, but to summarize, Pete Buttigieg stakes out his position that it's a rogue Supreme Court that has to be punished.
Oh, yeah?
Got to expand the court, pack the court, go to 13.
He's one of those.
Buttigieg says he wants a 51st state in D.C. and 2 new permanent U.S. senators, Democrats in D.C. He wants to scrap the Electoral College, go to a national popular vote. He wants fair maps everywhere, which, again, those would be independent maps controlled by Democrats pretending to be independents. That's how it works, where it's been implemented. He is staking out the most radical positions you can imagine, and both accepting them, embracing them, and recommending other Democrats embrace them as well. You work in the House with Democrats from all over the country, and I guess what I want to ask is, Pete Buttigieg, a guy who, Vanity Fair, I'm sure would tell us, just normal guy, grew a beard, he could appeal to Trump voters. Are all Democrats, are most Democrats as radical in their positions as Pete Buttigieg is, as he outlined yesterday?
Well, it doesn't make any difference, because any Democrat who is a so-called normal Democrat, what we used to think of a Democrat, is in control. And they have been buffaloed into silence And so that is exactly what the plans are for Democrats, from Chuck Schumer through Hakeem Jeffries and, of course, the Squad. These socialists are socialists, and they don't believe in the American idea. And when your enemy, I'm told the military says, when your enemy tells you what they're going to do, believe them. And these people are enemies, and I'll say that clearly and defend it. They are enemies of America and its foundational principles that has enabled it in a short 250 years that we're celebrating now to lead the world in everything. And for us to allow them to take us backwards, it will be our fault and our demise if we allow that to happen. But I'm glad Pete is talking. He's given the playbook. We saw it happen in Michigan with the redistricting commission, screwed everything up in Michigan, makes it impossible to really have a governing majority anymore. And so you get this fighting back and forth. So, no, believe Pete Buttigieg, that is the common line that's going to be put forward, and they want to do all of those things.
Congressman Tim Walberg with us, 5th Congressional District here in Michigan. And Ro Khanna was somewhere yesterday on a podcast saying similar stuff, pack the Supreme Court and the most radical positions possible. It's interesting that as we approach America 250, celebrating this great anniversary, wonderful country, the Democrats' go-to move is to say, well, let's scrap the whole thing and try this other way that we want to run things here in America. It's pretty crazy. Congressman Walberg also is...
I was going to say they can't win without cheating, and they do cheat. And this is the way they cheat. And back when the Supreme Court was going their way, they weren't asking for an increase to 13. No. But now that we have judges that are following the Constitution, in majority at least, no, that doesn't work. So we got to change that. So, yeah, no, believe your enemy when they tell you what they're going to do.
Oh, God.
You niggas, I'm not gonna lie to you. Being black right now is completely embarrassing. You niggas are some of the most vile, inhumane species that have ever graced the earth. For days, I've watched black people jump around like monkeys, act a belligerent fool, act a whole entire nut over a decision that somebody chose to do. And now, y'all are out here harming innocent white people in the name of Carmelo Anthony. Yep. You know, I again, as I've said before, I am a Christian woman. And I know that the Lord don't make mistakes, but I just know that he has to look at the nigger population and know that he definitely made a big time mistake with y'all. Since I'm on the road with keeping it real about you niggas, let's keep it real. Y'all with this nigger mentality mindset is holding white people hostage. And you're holding white people hostage for some shit that you did. Cause see, you niggas have been violating God. Y'all have been violating God since the biblical time. Y'all have been so disrespectful to the word of God so bad that he put a curse on us. He said that your kids and your kids' kids and their kids are going to feel the effects of your disrespectfulness. And it's so crazy because to this very day, y'all still continue to defy God. We are the reasons that we are at the bottom of the totem pole. No other race is responsible for why we are here. Same behavior that's happening now was the same behavior that happened back then, and because of that, we are still reaping what we sow behind it. We put our own self in bondage. We put our own selves in captivity, all because of our stupidity. It's all because of the bad behavior. What do we say? We know when a person has learned their lesson through changed behavior, and the behavior is still the same. We have not learned nothing. Because we have learned nothing, we are continuing to rot as a nation of people. That is why I am so grateful that God has separated me from the majority of you niggas. And I know
from the majority of you niggas,
a lot of y'all don't like
this lady
when I use the term nigga. But you have to understand that this is a subset of black people. It's not all of us. It is a subset of us that displays this animalistic behavior that make y'all think that we as a people, that we all act like that, we don't. And I hate to say it, but until the mindset of black people change, this Carmelo Anthony case is going to be a continual thing. Black kids will continue to die. While this case is closed, the headlines will still continue. We are always the usual suspects and common denominators in everything. And until that changes, we're going to expect more funerals on the horizon because y'all don't believe in change. Y'all not going to change the problem. And it's just going to be a continual cycle. So let's just be prepared to see more Carmelo Anthonys in the future. Y'all be blessed.
FIFA Men's World Cup underway, Mexico City. Violent clashes before the opening match. Oh, have fun. More sports fans.
Outside the first World Cup match in Mexico City, violent clashes erupted between police and protesters who were trying to block access to Mexico's match against South Africa. Many voicing their displeasure with FIFA and the Mexican government. They argue leaders have been more focused on the tournament than urgent social needs. The city has seen unrest.
Yes, Fidas Tacos.
All week as several
You play too much soccer.
groups from teachers
Football.
to families of victims of the country's drug violence turned a global sporting event into a stage to demand change. Back here in Los Angeles, the Stars and Stripes.
Elderly New York City transgender serial killer. What? Yes, those were all strung together in one phrase. All together. Elderly New York City transgender serial killer. 88 years old. Rode around with his girlfriend's severed leg in his electric wheelchair. Will serve the rest of them's life behind bars. Harvey Marcellin sentenced to life without parole for the murder of his girlfriend, Susan Layden, age 68.
His life in prison. At 88 years old, a judge sentenced him to life without parole for brutally killing and dismembering Susan Layden.
Regardless of your age, if you were ever paroled again, I have no doubt that you would kill again.
This is the third time Marcellin is convicted of killing a woman he had a relationship with. In 1963, Marcellin was sentenced to life without parole. Changes in the law later made him eligible for release. Then in 1980,
You gotta be shitting me.
He served more than 30 years for killing another woman. He was paroled again in 2019. In 2022, investigators found the dismembered remains of 68-year-old Layden inside bags across East New York and inside Marcellin's apartment.
Even given his advanced age, there is no hope for rehabilitation here.
Marcellin spoke in court, still insisting he was innocent.
My Susan Carol Layden, whom I was crazy over, and whom I witnessed murdered by an evil crackhead.
Marcellin somewhat apologized to Layden's family, including her daughter, who she had lost touch with after falling on hard times.
I'm sorry for my failure to do more to protect Susan.
A longtime friend of Susan Layden's told me via Facebook that she was a warm, loving, and devoted mother and friend. She said she's glad Marcellin will never be able to destroy anyone else's life. In downtown.
Jeez. 3 times? Trump admin slashes ties with over 36 progressive groups. Oh, who now? What's this all about? Interior Department slashing ties with over 36 progressive groups that it says do not align with the values of the administration, saving millions of dollars. Good. Goodbye. The Hispanic Access Foundation. Ah, yes, full of dreamers. Good riddance. Third release of declassified and historical UAPs. Here we go again with the footage of geese in flight. We'll see. Elon Musk now worth more than $1 trillion. Yeah. Oh, the Thunder of American Air Power coming to the National Mall. Freedom 250 proud to announce an aerial showcase to open the Great American State Fair. A once-in-a-generation tribute to 250 years of independence. What are we going to get here? Oh, heck yes. B-52, F-15, F-A-18, F-35, F-16, B-2, F-35. Yep. That'll be pretty neat. Trump admin must now remove the vandalism of 8647 on the grass. Ridiculous.
Police say that this large 8647 was discovered around 11:30 yesterday afternoon on the west side of the Washington Monument. The anti-Trump sequence has emerged just as the National Mall is preparing for an influx of visitors for Sunday's UFC match and the president's birthday. 47.
Yeah, they timed that shit to turn brown and nasty right as everything was starting up. All this stuff.
Match and the president's birthday. 47, of course, that reference to President Trump, and 86 often noted as slang for getting rid of something, but the question is by what means. The sequence was made more notorious. It kind of
just astroturf the whole block. Bada bing.
Came out of Reddit threads where it had existed for some time. It came out last May.
I'm sure you could find some sod somewhere. Come on. Dang, man. He's like well over 3 times ahead of the number 2 spot. Whew. That is nuts. Larry Page just under 300 billion. Elon now just over $1 trillion. Or just under. I don't know. This is just under. He may as well be at $1 trillion. Like, come on. The terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news. Yeah, we saw this. Yep. Bullshit. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is the Havana syndrome thing. Yeah. All right. Candace Matthews, National Minister of Politics for the new Black Panther Party. New Black Panther Nation, put on a press conference where she accused the judge in the Carmelo Anthony trial of child abuse.
And I want to give credit to North Carolina.
Oh, this should be hilarious.
The Beat, which is another, it's another, black, journal.
Black, had to think of the word there, just
we
from
all
the tip of the tongue.
Work together. All us people, activists, journalists, we work together. And I thank him for giving us this information, and we confirmed all of it. However, Judge Roach, now I'm on your avenue. Come on. Get him. Okay? Did y'all know that there's a third-party website? Because y'all know I deal with judicial accountability, right? Y'all know I bring them judges and I slang them when they dirty, right? So there's a
oh my gosh.
third party that I want you all to be able to go to, and I'm gonna make sure that we put it in the article so you can use that as a resource, because whatever court you go to in the United States that deal with family and children, you need to know who's on this list. And this is a list of child abuse judges. As of this is child abuse judges, and this comes from the childabusejudges.com. Yeah, see.
Oh, wow. Well, it says it right in the website.
You don't know until you know, right? Okay. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
so as of 12/22/2025, 1,400 plus judges have been accused of child abuse. Many judges 2 to 6 times. So let's see what state we got Texas up with. Because this is all of them. But I'm just going to show y'all Texas. Let's see who name on here. Receipts.
So her evidence is literally like some schizo retard website called childabusejudges.com. Yeah, where anyone can submit any kind of accusation whatsoever with no clear methodology or corroboration or evidence, for that matter. Just a list of names. It says so on the website, though.
Okay? Did y'all know that there's a third-party website? Because y'all know I deal with judicial accountability, right?
Oh my gosh.
Y'all
These
know
people.
I bring them judges and I slang them when they dirty, right? So there's a third-party.
These people can vote.
From
Some of them, anyway, the ones that aren't felons.
the child abuse judge.
Terrifying. Okay.
Nyack, and it turned into a potentially dangerous situation. A group of students from a private school in...
Oh, yeah, this is a weird one. The little Jewish girls lost in a sewer. Like, why were you in the sewer, young girls?
It was an adventure in downtown
Young Jewish girls, why were you in the sewer?
Nyack, and it turned into a potentially dangerous situation.
It's like they want the headlines about them being sewer people.
A group of students
living in
from
underground tunnels.
Private school.
It's bizarre.
Ramapo was on a field trip at Memorial Park. Police say about a dozen of 8th and 9th grade girls went exploring near the creek and then found themselves lost underground.
Oh, it's just going exploring.
In the sewers. First responders were called.
I explore in sewers all the time.
After the girls
could have happened to anybody.
Emerged out of the drain. Aside from some cuts and scrapes, they weren't hurt. And all the students were accounted for before returning to school.
That's a weird one. Today, George Washington's Mount Vernon unveiled George Washington, A Revolutionary Life, a groundbreaking new exhibition that brings America's founding leader to life. Okay, how do they do that?
We take our mission of education seriously. So in this exhibit, we aim to showcase the multifaceted aspects of George Washington. We want you to leave Mount Vernon not only with new knowledge in your head, but a greater affection in your heart for a man willing to pledge his life, his fortune, and his sacred honor for us.
You know, it is said that every season has a leader and every leader has a season. And in the Revolutionary season, the indispensable leader was George Washington.
It's the most complete biography of George Washington that exists today in the world, the most up-to-date, the most inclusive, the most correct, the most authentic, and the most impactful. That's why we do the work we do at Mount Vernon, to teach people every day about the long continuity of this experiment. Millions and millions of visitors
His teeth
will see this exhibit over the next quarter century.
Neat. That's pretty cool. Black man approached random white man at a gas station and began harassing him with loud accusations of white privilege, while claiming that the stranger benefited from greater privileges than black people and personally blaming him for slavery.
Fucking privileges than us, black. How you doing, buddy? How does it feel living your white privileged life out here?
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just asking you a question, bud. That's the true.
Man, I don't play that game.
I ain't playing no game with you, buddy. I'm just speaking facts.
I got same privileges.
Man, you got more fucking privileges than us black people, man. You know what the fuck going on. Shit, y'all got more motherfucking privilege than us. Y'all see what the fuck y'all did to us? Put us in fucking slavery and all that shit. You know
what
the fuck you did? How you doing, buddy?
And yet here you are, chimping out at a gas station.
How does it feel living?
Yeah. Judicial Watch President Tom Fenton tells me official FBI documents reveal Thomas Matthew Crooks got into a confrontation with Trump supporters right before he tried to assassinate the president. Climbs up on the roof after that, and evidently there was no security anywhere that paid attention to that or noticed it. There's some evidence that there was talk of a potential bomb device attached to a car linked to him. I don't know the detail of that. Let's see.
What do the documents you have, what do they tell us about the shooter or the investigation or the assassination attempt? What new questions are there? That what do What do you think you're looking for? And what have you found so far?
You know, our view is like we don't want to prejudge what went on in terms of the investigation or such. We just want to know, what did the investigation uncover? Are there other questions that need to be pursued? You know, it's pretty rare that when a president is nearly murdered, and certainly there was an innocent who was murdered that day, and it was a complete failure by the Secret Service. I don't know what the FBI's involvement was in that security failure under President Biden, but, you know, I think these documents might illustrate that. Are there leads that weren't followed? For example, in the documents we received, there are, I think, 2 instances of witnesses saying, you know, this car zoomed away, another car zoomed away, and they thought it was significant enough to share with the FBI. There's no further information as to what was done with that information, but that's curious. And then, of course, we have, you know, a further confirmation of the security failures where there's a confrontation between the shooter and Trump supporters, and he climbs up on the roof, and evidently there's no security anywhere that paid attention to that or noticed it.
What is the thing about he had something in his pocket and it had a little antenna on it, or what's that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Was it a bomb device? I mean, there's some evidence that there was talk of a, you know, potential bomb device that was attached to a car, attached to him, or linked to him. But, you know, I don't know the detail of that. And this is the sort of thing, it's like, well, tell us, you know, give us the documents. And the documents are what they are. And if we're misinterpreting them because of something you hid from us, well, unhide it and we'll fix the record, which is what we're trying to do.
Interesting. Daily reminder that Politico is owned by the Germans and serves as little more than an anti-US, anti-Trump foreign op. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, nothing new for Politico. Deadly disease kills one near Berkeley homeless camp as disturbing details of rat breeding revealed. What disease would that be? A deadly rat-borne disease of some kind. Leptospirosis. Sounds nice. Look at the fuzzy little squirrel. He's a cute boy. UFC unveils the outfits the Octagon girls will wear at the UFC Freedom 250 White House fights this weekend. Yeah. Not too raunchy. Not too... I mean, as far as these things go, I guess. Some a little more tasteful than others. Some less so. Not too bad. Okay. Trump's historic Iran deal could be signed as early as Sunday in Geneva. Let's hear the talk on this.
Signing ceremony could come as early as Sunday in Geneva, but Iranian state media is reporting that those reports of that signing ceremony are false, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Jackie?
Seems like we've heard this before. We'll see if it's different this time. Yep. Max Gordon, thank you.
Let's get some. Signing ceremony could come as early as Sunday in Geneva, but Iranian state media is reporting that those reports of that signing ceremony are false, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Jackie?
Seems like we've heard this before. We'll see if it's different this time. Yep. Max Gordon, thank you.
Let's get some. Signing ceremony could come as early as Sunday in Geneva.
Musk's speech ahead of the SpaceX IPO. Okay. Why not? We'll check it out. 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Gwen. Gwen Shotwell's been an incredible partner and was one of the first people to join the company. And so thank you, Gwen. Oh, she's in New York, of course. Where is she? Yeah, it is certainly hard to believe that a little company that started in a warehouse in El Segundo is now going public for with the largest IPO that ever. And let me tell you, if people had told me this was going to happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack, because I think this company's going to fail. I mean, I gave SpaceX less than a 10% chance of succeeding at all, to be clear. In fact, I told people this. I said, look, we're probably going to fail, but we should give it a try, because if we don't, if there's not a new company that enters space, we will never be a truly spacefaring civilization. While the other aerospace companies, they build good rockets and everything, they were simply not pursuing the technology that's necessary to make life multiplanetary, to make Star Trek, to make the exciting science fiction futures that we've read about real. And that's what SpaceX is all about. It's to take the fiction out of science fiction and create an exciting, inspiring future for everyone. We want to be able to take anyone who wants to go to the moon, anyone who wants to go to Mars, or anyone in the solar system, and maybe beyond the solar system at some point. We want to be able to take you there. Not just a few astronauts. I mean you, literally you. If you watch, whoever you are watching this, SpaceX wants to be able to take you to the moon, take you to Mars, and ultimately beyond. And I'm confident at this point that with the incredible team that we have here at SpaceX, that we will do that for you. I always think about this. There are always problems on Earth. There are always problems on Earth. There are always things that we wish to be better, that we want to solve here on Earth, and we should solve them. But there also have to be things that get you excited about the future, that make you glad to wake up in the morning, because you can't wait to see what happens next. And that's the future that SpaceX wants to bring to you.
Nope, that's it. Muslim bans Christian from preaching in London.
Tell me what did Jesus call God? You come in here, they're all Muslims here. You're talking about
They're all
Jesus.
Muslims.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Don't irritate us. I'm asking you a question.
I'm a preacher. I can teach
You can
anywhere.
preach. Tell me, what did Jesus call God?
This is English. Why should I answer?
What did Jesus call God?
Why should I answer?
You're being wrong.
Why should I answer your
You
question?
are being wrong.
If you're here preaching, you should know what you preach.
Why should I answer your question?
What did Jesus call God?
Why should I answer your question?
Then don't make us hear what we don't want to hear.
Why not?
If people come to you, it's
Why?
okay, but don't force us.
Why? I'm not
my
forcing
ears here.
I'm freedom of speech. You know what?
Yeah, freedom, but don't. You know, hatred here. You're all Muslims here. If you can't answer me,
they're all Muslim here. They're all Muslim.
No, it's mixed. It's all mixed.
No, you just said they're all Muslim here.
Listen, there's a lot of Muslims here.
Oh no! So now all of a sudden it's a lot.
Okay. So what does it mean?
Standing here
for a Christian. What does it mean for a Christian?
I know a thing, but don't
No, for a
create things here.
Christian.
I'm asking you a question. You couldn't answer. You're
Why
taking
should
a
I
mic.
ask you? Why should I?
Don't take a mic here.
Why should I answer
Don't
your
take a
question?
mic here.
Why should I answer your
Don't
question?
take a mic
Why
here.
should I answer
Don't
your
take a mic
question?
here,
Why
man.
should I answer your
Careful.
question? Why should I answer your question? Careful.
Welcome to London. On the ground in South Texas at Chaparosa Ranch. This looks pretty cool. Okay.
Hey everyone, this is Brooke Rollins, and here with J.R. Ramirez at the Chaparosa Ranch in South Texas. We just did what all of these incredible cattlemen are doing here in South Texas. We just rode the pasture, checked on the cattle, looked for wounds, anything that could potentially be a screw. And we're just a few miles away from where case 1 was found. We went and visited case 1, a 4-week-old calf now, 3 weeks old when he was found with a screw. completely healthy, completely back to normal, and I'm just so inspired. This is a battle ahead of us, but we're ready, we're equipped, and with incredible cowboys like JR, we're going to beat it.
Well, Madam Secretary, I want to thank you for being here, for putting eyes on the ground, and for literally helping us do what we do daily. We're checking cattle. I would tell everyone, if you find a case, report it. It's the quickest way to get the resources that USDA, Texas Animal Health Commission, has made available to us, and that is going to be the ticket in getting ahead of this thing. Report it, get the resources, and let's deal with this thing the way it needs to be dealt with.
Oh man, what the heck? 6th grade student dead after police allege he choked on a donut while doing a TikTok challenge. What a way to go. Jeez. Happened in Yonkers, New York. When a 12-year-old student was in the hallway, teachers noticed him choking on something. Tried to administer life-saving measures before calling 911 when the boy became unresponsive. The one bite challenge. Kids these days, man.
Hurting. Our staff is hurting.
If you can eat the giant donut in one bite and not die trying. Ridiculous.
Never once have they sent home artwork.
What is this?
Okay, so my son's in daycare, and never once have they sent home artwork, which I have always found really strange. Until a few weeks ago, we get an email that if we want some of his artwork, it's for sale for us to buy.
Huh?
And so here, his beautiful, beautiful handprint, shop now. So I can get his handprint that he painted at school. If I want it on an apron, $49.95. If I want it on a mug, I don't want it, but I also...
Yeah, excuse me?
Child labor.
Yeah, hello?
I feel like it's child
That
labor.
is not your work product. That child made that.
Do that.
Fuck you.
So the question is this legal?
Fuck you, daycare.
Well, can the daycare...
No, absolutely it is not legal.
...sell the artwork? And the answer is, without parental consent, the answer is no, they cannot. Not only is it copy...
What do you want to bet they snuck something in some kind of contract that these poor schmucks signed when they signed their kid up.
Copyright protected, but the standard daycare enrollment forms are unlikely to cover monetizing the children's artwork, which is actually kind of funny that they're even trying to do this.
Insane.
So the mother is right.
I'd love to know who's running this lovely daycare.
About this, there isn't any child labor laws specific to this, but it is a ethical red flag.
God, that's bizarre. Oh god, what is this? Hey, Catherine Herridge, there we go. On the Havana Syndrome thing. All the credit for debunking the Biden administration's intelligence reports that doubted foreign involvement in Havana Syndrome goes to Tulsi Gabbard. What you are unlikely to see in legacy media coverage is that our small team broke the story yesterday. And Gabbard initiated the new review of directed energy attacks in response to our independent reporting, which revealed evidence of progressive brain injury and brain cell death. Ugh. As an independent journalist, I was able to take the Havana Syndrome reporting further on X than I ever could at CBS News under old leadership. That's a weird one.
Real.
That's quite long. I think we've seen this guy before too, so. Okay, President Trump's Iran deal terms are reportedly as follows. Are these the actual deal terms, not the garbage that Iran put out there?
White House officials telling Fox Iran's nuclear material will be destroyed and removed. Its nuclear program will be dismantled. None of their sanctioned money will be released until they carry out the terms of the deal. The Strait of Hormuz will be open, and Iran will not provide any funding for terrorist groups. But the regime is publicly insisting that nothing's been finalized, with some key issues still on the table.
So President Trump saying this on Truth Social a moment ago. Here we go now. Read it all to you. The terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. Amazing. Also, their totally rebuffed drone attack last night against Indian ships leaving the Hormuz Strait is totally unacceptable. They better get their act together and fast. End quote.
White House officials telling Fox Iran's nuclear material will be destroyed and removed. Its nuclear program will be dismantled. None of their sanctioned money will be released until they carry out the terms of the deal. The Strait of Hormuz will be open, and Iran will not provide any funding for terrorist groups. But the regime is publicly insisting that nothing's been finalized, with some key issues still on the table.
So President Trump saying this on Truth Social a moment ago. Here we go now. Read it all to you. The terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news have nothing to do with the terms that were agreed to in writing. What they said, including their weak and pathetic statement on having a deal, bears no relation to the truth. Very dishonorable people to deal with. With them, there is no such thing as dealing in good faith. Amazing. Also, their totally rebuffed drone attack last night against Indian ships leaving the Hormuz Strait is totally unacceptable. They better get their act together and fast. End quote.
White House officials telling Fox Iran.
Okay. Oh, is this some of the UAP footage finally? Wow, it's shockingly high quality yet again. As always. Yeah. This like supposed to be not an airplane? Luminous object. Resembled a plasma-like sphere, intermittently changing shape and luminosity. Yes, that is indeed what happens when you have something that far off in the distance and the device you're using to film it can't focus on it. It looks like a blob. I'll never understand these. We get another here? Oh no, that's old. Well, I'm sure we'll... Yep, here we go. I'm sure we'll have a whole bunch more today. Guess that's one of them. Treshawn Johnson, a common criminal, shows himself desecrating Austin Metcalf's grave. Five Guys restaurant in New York destroyed after the Knicks Game 4 win. Yo, don't fall into the fryer, homeboy. I mean, go ahead if you want to.
Crazy. NYC comedy. Oh my God.
Oh, 1 second.
There are places on Earth where the line between the known and the unknown, where...
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not even gonna bother. All right, let's keep going.
Killing that white boy. I'm so proud of y'all for killing that white boy. See, they not used to this shit happening to them, y'all.
You want to bet? Yeah, we are.
My only problem is
we've been dealing with you people doing it for decades now, so
it happen more. This is where I'm fucking up. This is where I got a problem with my people. It should happen more. We should make a day like every Thursday.
Spits it, camera.
Or every Wednesday where we just wake up and fuck up a white girl or a white boy. Just pick a little girl, smack the shit out of her. Little boy, smack the shit out of him. Old lady, white, whatever. We should set up a day once a week where we just fuck them up, y'all, until they go back to the mountains. Yeah, let's set a day where we just fuck them up. Oh, this cuz we wake up, we yawn, we brush our teeth, we wash our face, and we go outside and we just fuck them up. First, that's how we gotta start getting our day started. Can we please pick a day where we just fuck them white people up? Just beat their ass, especially the old ones. Just beat their ass, the kids. Just beat their ass.
That'll end real well for you.
Everybody, get in the
start beating up old white people. See how that goes.
Let's set up a day where we just fuck. We're national fuck white people every day. Seriously, we just beat them up. Just walk up to them and be yeah. Shit's about to change whether they know it or not. They talking all this shit online, this racist shit.
Yeah. Oh man.
But the reality, they gonna have to get out here with the racist shit, whether they know it or not. They talk racist shit, but all this shit online, this racist shit.
They're talking all this shit online, this racist shit. That they are them.
But the reality, they gonna have to get out here with us in a minute. And boy, I can't wait the day we beat the fuck out these crackers. They don't stand a chance. I just can't wait to take these hands. Oh, it's about to be soon. Good job, y'all. Let's set a day we do that to their kids more. I hope their kids rotting in hell. As a matter of fact, I wish I knew what a little white boy grave was so I can go spit on that bitch. Dig him up, smack him up again, stab him up again, put his ass back in there. Let's set a day where we just beat their ass, y'all. Let's get them.
Yep.
courtroom. Take us inside that courtroom. What stuck out to you?
What stuck out to me, number one, was the all-white jury. But I was trying to be...
CBS platformed this moron.
You know, like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
Take us...
Who took an oath vowing to tell the truth.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
Not how the jury saw it. Okay. Interesting. Bookmarked. Yeah, I heard some weird Facebook outage going on. Facebook and Instagram down for millions of users. Well, could they finally be fixing all those account hacks? All right.
Searching through...
Oh, Tulsi Gabbard 30 minutes ago. Let's see.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings and files, today I'm releasing new evidence of long-standing U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries.
Oh, snap. Ukraine. Here we go.
Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to long-standing threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage. Now, until now, evidence regarding the full existence and funding of these laboratories had been knowingly withheld from you, the American people. Many of these U.S. government-funded biolabs are currently or have previously engaged in research using hazardous and highly contagious pathogens.
Bioweapons.
And in some cases, included dangerous gain-of-function research with very little visibility or oversight. Now, President Trump clearly understands the serious threat dangerous gain-of-function research poses to the American people. And this is why he took decisive action over a year ago. On May 25th, 2025, he signed an executive order to end federal funding of gain-of-function research around the world.
Yes.
Here at ODNI, I issued new guidance to the intelligence community directing increased collection on these laboratories and facilities overseas. And we're already seeing the results of this increased collection. We're learning new details, for example, on clinical trials that are underway at these facilities and that are raising significant ethical, financial, and security concerns regarding the supposed public health initiatives and U.S. national security.
How
now,
about that?
despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S.-funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they lie, they threatened those who attempted to expose the truth. So this release today breaks news.
They banned them from the internet.
Ground, as the information surrounding the existence, history, locations, and funding of these U.S.-funded biolabs has been intentionally covered up by very powerful people who falsely claimed that these biolabs didn't exist. Now, they accused anyone who says otherwise to be foreign assets and traitors to America. Now, ODNI will continue working closely with partners across the U.S. government to identify exactly where these labs are and what pathogens they contain to end dangerous gain-of-function research that threatens the health and well-being of the American people and people around the world.
Bravo. Very good. How about that? Good way to end the show, I guess. That's this is going to be the biggest news of the day, I'll bet. That's a big one.
After months of searching through.
All right. Well, excuse me. That's it for me. I'm gonna go lay down and relax for a while. Vicky's in. How you doing?
Not too bad. I got my nap in.
Oh, good. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me pop my share off here. There we go. Cool. Oh yes. Jeez. I'll let you get to your show. You have a good show. Yeah.
Okay, fam.
Yeah.
Bye now. Have a great day.
You too. All right, guys. Saltwater Rabbit says, I want that hoodie. Dude, this is not just a hoodie, okay? This is a wearable blanket. It has a hood, yes. In fact, I have two because I'm wearing a hoodie under this. But it's also like a giant robe. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. I wear it so often, I should probably get two. Because, like, there's pretty much never a day where I'm not wearing this thing. I love it. I love it that much. It's freaking awesome. So soft. It's the best material. Ah. All right. Well, that's it. Anyway, I'm out. I'm gonna go be sick. I'll see you guys whenever I see you next. Might be tonight. Yeah, I get maybe. We'll see. Bye-bye.